people not only in Niger State, but also.
Still a chance for Ian Robin. It's
let him shoot. No problem.
Nigeria about to exit second wave of COVID-19. Still on the headline
of nursing and midwifery to Edo State College Nursing Sciences as part.
Good morning, thanks for joining us. This is the Gallery TV newspaper headline today, 26th of April 2022. I'm Elege Chideva. This morning we'll start with the Daily Sun newspaper with a major headline that says 2023 Jonathan steps up consultation on APC move. 2023 Jonathan steps up consultation on APC move. His defection declaration on the way. That's coming from the supporters. Ex-president plans to contest national service, says campaign coordinator. That's the major headline on Daily Sun. You can find the full story of that is on page 6. Above the major headline, we have a story 2023. Igbo leaders urge Southeast aspirants to press on with presidential bid. Vow to support them to the end. That's on page 8. I'll take us below the major headline. We have a side story. That says, I have capacity to rescue Nigeria from current mess. This coming from Sharaki. Says insecurity won't continue beyond 2023. The full story is on page 7. On page 8, we have a story that says Kano's challenges security trial, says plan unconstitutional. NDLE arrests businessman over 3 billion naira illicit drug linked to DCP Kyrie teams. EFCC now suspect for allegedly defrauding Kwara Monarch of 33 million naira. The full story is on page 4 and 5 on the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. Imo explosion death toll rises to 150. Igbo group demands Buhari Uzodinma visit to tragedy site. That's on page 4. On page 25, we have a story. I will promote state comparative for economic growth. That's coming from Wiki. We still have another side story that says, it will be a great injustice if I didn't contest. It's coming from Vice President Yemi Osibajo. Full story is on 25. On page 7, we have a story there that says, blame military, not cooker, for Tucano jet delivery delay. NEF replies presidency. Still on the Sun newspaper, we have a story that says, dollar scarcity hits banks. Worsening insecurity, poor economy, hindering state from boosting IGR. Anasu Sanu extend warning strike by Southeast Town. That's gone from Clark. Others. The page, you can find the story of this on page 2 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Above, we have a story that says 19 northern states, federal capital, PDP stakeholders reject sectional consensus arrangement. That's on page 23. If I do not contest, still coming from the Vice President, Yemi Osibajo. Bayelsa APC split over push for Jonathan. That's on page 23. Still on page 22 on the Nigerian newspaper this morning. We have a side story that says death toll in Imo explosion rises to 110. Can get the story of that until the 7th. Page 2, we have a story also that says Elon Musk buys Twitter for $44 billion. 4 children recruited in Ondo. That's on page 27. Page 29, we have children yearly. Reps postponed resumption indefinitely. That's on page 28. Still on the side story on the Tribune, 250 women in race for PDP elective post. 35% affirmative action, not automatic. That's come from Aneni. That's on page 22. Federal government to concession 12 highways to private firms. Bini, Asaba, Lagos, Badagry, Seme Border, Abuja, Lokoja, top list. Weapon delay, blame military conduct, not Kuka, not an others, tells Buhari. That's on page 25. NDLEA says suspected drug baron behind 3 billion naira tramadol linked to DCP Kari team arrested. We have another major headline that says succession race for next Alafin of Oyo stool comments after its 80th day for due. That's all we can take from the Nigerian newspaper, Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Taking us to the Guardian newspaper with a major headline that says, not plots to retain power. Afenifere Pandef, others allege. Not plans to retain power. That's coming from Afenifere Pandef, others alleges. Obi Umahi, Ngige, Okorocha, and others meet over zoning. Nigeria must give South Seat a chance, says Clark. At the Banjo, APC dividing style to retain power is not. Only equity, justice will save Nigeria. This is coming from Nzuko Omona. We have a story above as despite security assurances, Imo residents comply with sit-at-home orders. That's on page 9. Weapon delay, blame military, not Kuka, not an other tells presidency. NDLEA nabbs alleged billionaire drug baron linked to Abakari team. Douglas ex-minister dies in Abuja. We have a side story. Abe dismisses APC consensus vow to contest Gaba poll. We have another major headline that says NIMC servers glitch invalidates linked NINs, leaves subscribers stranded. On 2023 election again, not consensus confusion tax, PDP unfair play. That's all we can take from the Guardian. Taking us to the next here with me, the Daily Trust newspaper. It has a major headline: ahead of Salah, airfares skyrocket. Ahead of Salah, airfares skyrocket. Lagos Sokoto now 120,000. Operator cites demands in supply forces. Only tax relief will reduce pressure, expert says. That's the major headline. As for Police Were Nigerian Daily on Daily Trust. Not big weeks dividing South to retain power. That's coming from Afenifere. Imo residents fear as epidemics as mass burial fails to hold. That's what we have on the Daily Trust. 15 firms shortlisted to toll Abuja, Kolokoja, 11 others roll. Bandits run out of fuel, abandon 10 motorcycles in Abuja. 2023, it will be injustice to Nigerians if I don't contest. That's coming from Osibanjo. Drunken cop killed 2 at Lagos birthday party. That's all we have for you on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Taking us to the Vanguard newspaper. I have a major headline on the Vanguard that says 2023 Buhari deceiving Jonathan, others. That's coming from Adebanjo. 2023 Buhari deceiving Jonathan, others. That's coming from Adebanjo. Says Jonathan allowing himself to be disgraced as Clark at the Banjo Middle Belt Forum canvass Igbo president. Igbo have competent, patriotic people, says Clark. Southwest should take the back seat for now. That's coming from Oju. That's the major headline on the Vanguard. We have above the major headline a story that said Adegoke's mother defendant slumps as Falana appears for prosecution. 2023, it will be injustice, betrayal if I refuse to contest. They coming from Ostibanjo. How Alafin married me at 19, says Queen Ola, a strange wife. Former Minister Graham Douglas dies at age That will take us below the major headline. The side story: federal government stops striking versus workers' salaries. That's on page 8. Delay in supply of weapons, blame military conduct, not cooker. And NEF tells presidency. That's still on page 7. We have another major headline that says terrorism charge, and Nnamdi Kanu rejects secret trial, heads to court. NBLEA nabbed suspected drug baron behind 3 billion naira linked to Kari. And insecurity, and Nigerian has become capital of kidnapping. That's coming from Saraki. Elcon Musk seals $44 billion Twitter deal. I think that's all we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The Vanguard newspaper taking us to the New Telegraph. The New Telegraph have a major headline that says 2023 Pandef Afenifere MBF agrees on president from Southeast. 2023 Pandef Afenifere MBF agrees on president from Southeast. Says power rotation part of federal character principle. It's disgraceful for Jonathan to contemplate race, says Adebanjo. No cabal can impose president on Nigerians. That's coming from IM. Group moves to raise 66 billion naira for Obi's campaign. That's the major headline on the New Telegraph. We have a story above that says a consensus PDP not ethnic party, northern stakeholders. NCC mobile technology crashes cyber cave users to 0.2%. Kari NDLE arrests suspected drug baron behind 3 billion naira tramadol deal. Trial. That's all we have above the major headline on the New Telegraph. We have a story below that says, it will bring justice betrayal to Nigerians if I refuse to contest. Still coming from Ostibajo says he's not ready to retire to Ekene. Imo refinery tragedy death toll rises to 110. Coming from NEMA. The story is on page 2 and 26 on ASU strike appoints competent hand as education minister. That's coming from parents to federal government. There's a blast union over strike, 10th phone. That's all we have for you on the New Telegraph. That will take us to the next paper here with me this morning. The next paper here with me this morning is the Daily Independent. It's a major headline on Daily Independent that says, I will betray Nigerians if I don't contest. Coming from Ostibajo. That's a major headline on Daily Independent. Above we have a story. PDP Northern stakeholders reject Saraki Mohammed as consensus presidential aspirants. Nnamdi Kanu sue Chief Judge register over secret trial. We have a side story. NDLE arrests suspects behind 3 billion naira illicit drug linked to Kari team.